you explain this, Hamilton?
I just wanted some gripping bedtime reading, I guess.
Then you admit stealing it from Mr. Andrews.
Why not? She's taking it very well.
I demand an explanation.
Almost as she expects.
Staff, particularly confidential information.
Did something to happen.
Serious offense.
Yeah. Why doesn't she tell him she was framed? It looks as if she wants to get in the pound.
I simply want to write a series of articles on the workings of the criminal mind.
I see. Then you'd better write an article on yourself.
What?
You deliberately broke the law, Hamilton, no matter what the reason. Your crime is as bad as any of the other inmates. In fact, it is worse than most because it was totally premeditated.
Mrs. Davidson, that's ridiculous.
Well, you'd better think about what I said in solitary.
Could I suggest something, Mrs. Davidson? We could put her in isolation for the rest of her time here. No phone calls, no visitors, and no contact with the rest of the women.
That's not fair. I think that's an excellent idea. If you want to write about prisons, then you'll have to work from your imagination.
Dor could have one of them funny diseases.
She was nowhere near Doreen. Don't talk flaming rot.
Yeah, but you know how them bugs get around.
Yeah, and I've got Evelyn to fix me up something, but it doesn't seem to be doing much good.
Well, you didn't take it, did you?
Yeah.
You flaming little idiot. Do you know what she's in for? Manslaughter. She gave one of her patients one of the home brews she makes up, and the patient kicked the bucket. She's nothing but a bloody poisoner.
I'm gonna die, aren't I?
Don't be silly, love.
I don't know why Evelyn did it. I've never done anything to her.
Yeah. One minute we're getting on real well with her. Next she tries a swifty like this.
Yeah, well, I've read about them poisons. And there's nothing you can do.
Now, you listen to me. Evelyn's a herbalist. If she's given you the wrong stuff, she'll know the antidote.
If she wanted to poison Dor, she's not going to tell.
Want to bet? What the hell have you done, Doreen?
What?
You gave her one of your crackpot medicines, didn't you?
Well, a herbal mixture. She said she wasn't feeling well.
Well, she's bloody worse now.
Oh, no, she couldn't be.
She's as sick as a dog. And if you don't tell me what was in it, you are going to need a doctor yourself.
What have you been giving her, you bloody quack?
I don't understand it. How sick is she? Now, did you take this mixture just as I told you? You can't have
What was in it?
Oh, just castor oil beans. They're quite harmless as long as they're taken as directed. Now, where's the rest of it?
In the jug.
Oh, what's it doing in there?
Well, I warmed it up. It tasted better.
You stupid little fool.
Now, wait a minute. What difference does it make whether it was hot or cold?
The beans become toxic when they're cooked. No wonder she's sick.
I'm gonna die.
Why didn't you follow my instructions?
How was she supposed to know it was going to do her harm if she cooked her?
I told her what to do if she can't understand plain
Listen,
English.
instead of bitching about this, what are we going to do here?
Well, the chickweed's antidote, I'll prepare an infusion.
Oh, no, you won't. She's going to the infirmary. Get her down there, Judy. There she can get some proper treatment.
Will she get proper treatment?
Shut up! See if we can get her down there, love. You okay?
Lean on me, love.
Are you crazy? You're in here for killing someone with your jungle juice and you go and try it on Doreen.
It is not jungle juice. And I did not kill that woman. It was her own fault she died.
Well, tell that to the judge.
The woman was a fool. I was treating her for skin cancer.
Oh, you got a cure for that too, have you?
Look, I gave her specific instructions to apply the preparation to her skin. She thought it would do her better if she drank it. I am sorry she died. It was not my fault.
Oh, well, as long as you're sorry, I suppose that's okay.
Look, I'm in here for manslaughter. A doctor in my position wouldn't even have been charged.
If anything happens to Doreen...
Nothing will happen to her. I'm sure your orthodox medicine will fix her up.
Well, you had better be right. And if I ever catch you performing any of your quackery in here again,
Don't you threaten me.
Now, Georgina Baxter, any comments?
Personally, I don't see any point in keeping her in the pound.
No? If she's let out and goes berserk again, can you imagine the damage that she'd do?
Yes, Jim does have a point. I mean, in her present state, she's a danger to herself, the staff, and the women.
Well, surely we've got a responsibility of helping her, not just locking her up.
Oh, kill her with kindness, you mean?
Well, before we decide she's completely intractable, we should at least find out what makes her tick.
Would you suggest Dr. Weissman assess her? I could arrange for him to visit next week.
Well, couldn't I speak to her before that?
What good would that do?
Well, I did psychology when I was training. I'm not claiming to be an expert, but I could certainly tell whether she needed psychiatric help or not.
Well, anyone could tell that just by looking at her record. Nothing but senseless violence and vandalism ever since she arrived here.
I've had a lot of experience with kids like that. Kids who want to throw their weight around, kids with chips on their shoulders. They're not all crazy. At least give me the chance to get through to her, but not in solitary. Please, that would make it hard.
Mrs. Morris.
Well, maybe the time she spent in solitary will have given her the chance to think. Calm down.
I'm dead against it.
I do appreciate your worry about security, but Mr. Andrews may be able to help her. Baxter will be released from solitary tomorrow. You can speak to her then.
Thanks, Mrs. Davidson.
Well, I got 3 aces and a pair of 2s. Is that good enough?
You were a whole lot more fun when you were sick, you know that? Anyway, how you feeling now?
Oh, good. That stuff Sister gave me made me feel real good.
Yeah, you're lucky to be alive after that garbage that bloody Evelyn gave you.
Yeah, well, it was my own fault for not doing like she said.
Yeah, I reckon we ought to apologise to her for calling her a poisoner. That was an awful thing to say.
Oh, thank you, Lizzie.
Same goes for me too, Evelyn.
Oh, you're feeling better, are you?
Oh, yeah, fighting fit.
Good. But you were very silly, weren't you, not following my instructions?
She was mental to take that stuff in the first place. She should have gone to a proper doctor.
Oh, lay off, Fee.
If you weren't so bigoted, you'd realise I am a proper doctor, well, of sorts. But I don't deal in synthetic drugs. Herbs are a far more natural cure.
I think we've had this discussion.
Your friend, that the judicial system is prejudiced against alternative medicine. As a result, I am in here serving 3 years for a crime I did not commit.
But there must be something you can do. Appeal against your sentence or something.
Yes, I intend to. With public opinion on my side.
Well, how will you get that?
Sandra Hamilton has promised to write an article about me when she gets out.
Well, I hope you gave her all the facts.
Yes, well, most of them. There's a couple of weeks before she leaves. Plenty of time to fill her in on the details.
Well, she's in isolation, you know.
What do you mean?
Well, she's been kept separate from us.
Yeah, she copped it for stealing your files, and you won't be able to talk to her before she gets out.
Oh, but I need that article. If she doesn't write that, then I stand less chance at my appeal.
Oh, there must be some way of proving that you didn't kill that lady.
Yeah, if you could only cure someone in here. Trouble is, none of us are sick.
We might be.
What?
Well, there's this tropical disease, remember? You know, that health bloke came in asking about it, and that Jenny had something to do with it.
Yeah, you see, if you could cure something like that, then you could convince the courts that you weren't a crank.
Yes, I'm sure I could cure it, of course, if given the chance, but none of us has it, so...
Yeah, well, why don't you set yourself up in here anyway, and then you could make stuff up for us when we get headaches and that.
Well, that's an idea, I suppose, but I need herbs.
Well, I'm going to see Sid, and it's a big garden there. You just let me know what you want.
Oh, thank you, Lizzie.
Hey, you think there'd be anything in the prison garden?
Oh, I'm sure there would be. Most of the herbs I use are found in the average garden.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get myself put on guard duty and see what I can pick up for you.
Are you lot crazy? If I catch you brewing up any of your potions and feeding them to the girls, Evelyn, you'll have me to answer to.
I don't think she meant any harm, Bea, and I reckon we should help her.
You are being conned. And if any of you dare to collect any of that rubbish, by...
Well, you're the boss, Bea.
Thanks, Julie.
So, this is the lady slammer, eh?
What can I do for you?
Geez, you're on a good thing working here. Getting your share. If you want to put an extra
Listen, Sonny, just state your name and business.
Mike, the bike.
Oh, really?
I come to see Georgie.
Baxter? Sorry.
Oh, look, I know the rules, mate, you know.
Then you should know that prisoners in solitary are not allowed any visitors.
In the pound, is she? Couldn't crack her, eh?
I didn't ask for a commentary. Now, you can't see Baxter, so I suggest you just clear off.
When can I see her?
Try again next week.
Smart bastard.
Who was that?
Mike, the bike. He came to see Baxter.
Well, she's entitled to a visitor, Jim. Why didn't you tell him to come back this afternoon when she's out of solitary?
He can try again next week. I don't buy that sort of attitude.
Hey, Mike. You came to see Baxter, is that right?
What's that got to do with you?
Boyfriend?
So?
I'd like to talk to you about her if you've got a moment.
What if I haven't?
I'm David Andrews, Education Officer. Now, if you come back this afternoon and ask for me personally, I'll organise a visit, OK?
Fair enough, yeah.
Were you known her long?
Been mates since we was kids.
Then you must know the family.